bring yourselves in towards the center of your mat. Find whatever comfortable seated position you wish to take, be that cross-legged, sitting on your knees, or maybe with your legs out front. I don't really care, as long as you're comfortable and that you can give yourself the attention to your breathing just for a moment. But before we focus on our breath, let's set our body up nice and steady. So letting your shoulders relax, the crown of your head reaching towards the ceiling to lengthen out your spine, so you're sitting up nice and deliberately. And then once you feel like you're in the best seated position that you can muster, start to take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Really try and fill your chest and your belly as much as you can. And then as soon as you reach the top of that inhale, just roll naturally over into your exhale. Let's do that again. So another long, drawn out breath through the nose. And when you feel like you've reached the top, just roll naturally into the exhale. And one more of those. Now see if you can find a more steady, realistic base breath. Without that temptation to try and hold your breath, as if there's some kind of prize for holding your breath as long as possible. But instead just letting your body find its natural breathing undulation. Feeling the air rushing through your nostrils on your inhale, maybe also on your exhale. Yeah, now start to become more aware of your body. So highlight any areas of your body that you already know feel like they're a little tense, or maybe a bit sore, or just an area of concern of yours. It's really common for us always to have some part of our body that's just not behaving quite like we'd like it to. So just send your attention to that particular place. And just breathe. Then release that attention. Start to send your awareness towards your fingers. Give them a little wiggle. And when you're ready, start to draw in a nice deep breath as you lift your arms up towards the ceiling. And when you need to roll over into your exhale, bring your hands together. Press them together nice and firmly so you can feel your forearm muscles fire up as you let out that breath. Good. Just take that prayer in front of your chest and turn your body to the right hand side as if you're sending that prayer to your right knee. Good. Then with control, move yourself back and do the same thing over to the left. Good. And then come back to center. Take a nice deep breath in. As you do so, press the backs of your thumbs into your sternum. And then as you exhale, lean forwards and go as far forwards and down as you are able to. And once you get down, just let your head gently nod, yes. And then maybe gently shake, no. Before rolling yourself back up towards your seated position. Good. And then just take a deeper twist round to the left-hand side by bringing your right hand on top of your left knee. And then the same thing round to the other side. before bringing yourself onto an all fours position where your wrists are underneath your shoulders, your knees are underneath your hips, and we're gently going to sway our body from side to side. Now, you might find that this naturally makes the spine start to snake so that your bum is slightly further ahead than the top part of your body. This is fine. Just let everything become nice and natural as you move from side to side. Maybe close your eyes here so that you can just move intuitively with how your body wishes to move. Good. Now see if you can start bringing a few more circular motions or figure of eight motions to your movements. In fact, moving in whatever capacity you would like. So there are no rules, no restrictions. You're just moving your body in whatever fashion you think it feels good to move it. Coming forwards over your fingers and back towards your heels. Letting every part of your body move as you wish. Good. And then when you're ready, just bring yourself back to that neutral spine. Give your tailbone a little wiggle. Move your hands a little bit further forwards towards the top part of the mat, making sure your fingers are nicely spread and that your thumb and little finger are pressing down into the floor. Good. Make sure your toes are tucked. Then when you're ready, take a nice deep breath in and lift your knees away from the floor and lift yourself up and back into a downward facing dog. Good. Now stretch out your back as much as you can here. And then when you're ready, start to bend into each knee and lengthen out the opposite leg to stretch your calf and your hamstrings. Like you're walking without moving. Good. Now when you're ready, bring your legs to stillness. Draw your body forwards into a plank. Pop your knees to the floor. Let your hips sink down. So you come into a sort of half cobra. Good. Let the hips come back up and shift yourself back into a child's pose. Good. Draw the hands back towards you. And then lean back into the hands if you can and look towards the ceiling. Good. Bring the hands back forwards. Lift the knees, downward facing dog. Again, draw the body forwards, come into a plank. Good. Hold yourself steady in plank for a second. Good. Then drop your knees. Allow your hips to sink down. Look forwards. Variation of cobra there with the toes tucked to the back. Good. Lift the hips. Press yourself back into a child's pose before drawing your hands back behind you. Lean into your hands. Let your shoulders lift back. Look towards the ceiling. Good. Bring those hands forwards and lift the knees into downward facing dog. Good. Again, start to bend the knees in turn. Good. Now, when you're ready, we're just going to bend the left knee and point the toes towards the back of the room. Draw the knee a little closer towards your stomach and then pop your foot down. Good. Do the same thing with the other leg. So bend the knee, draw it in, and then step it up as far as you can. Good. You may have to come up onto your fingertips here or bring your hands away from the floor. Again, bend the left knee, draw the leg as close to the stomach as you can, and then step it, perhaps towards the top of the mat. Bring the other foot up and roll from a forward fold, nice and slowly, towards standing. Good. Once you come to standing, reach your hands towards the ceiling, interlace the fingers, and press the palms towards the ceiling. Option here to rise up onto your tiptoes and the balls of your feet and make yourself as long as possible. Breathe. Good. If you've lifted your heels, gently draw them back down towards the floor Good. Now uninterlace your fingers, turn your body to the left, but keep your feet facing forwards. So we take it into a side twist and bring your arms out into a T shape. Good. Take your left hand and take hold of your left bum cheek. Lift your right arm up and feel a stretch running across the right rib cage. Good. Come back to that T shape. Square yourself back towards the front and then take the same movements over to the other side. So opening out into that T shape, turning to the right. Right hand this time comes onto your right bum and then lift your left arm up. Good. Come back to center, lifting both hands. And then when you're ready, fold. Following your hands down towards the floor. Find as much bend into your knee as you can possibly get. Good. When you're ready, we're going to step our right leg about 3/4 of the way back to the back of the mat. So you can still get the right heel down onto the floor. Good. Now, once your legs feel nice and strong, lift your body up into our warrior one. Now, here's an opportunity to take your legs a little wider if you think that you can, as long as that back heel can still reach the floor without causing too much strain on the back of your right calf. Good. Now, with your left foot, first of all, bring your hands down onto your hips. There's no need to keep them elevated. You'll only start to lose blood from them. So let's take our left foot a little bit further out to the left-hand side. Make sure that we still have a nice bend into that front knee. Good. Now see if you can grasp hold of your forearms or your elbows behind your back, so it helps lift and puff your chest. Take a long breath in. And then as you exhale, press that chest forwards, lean into your left knee and fold as far as you can. See if you can keep those hands behind your back. Breathe. Good. Now press into that left foot to help lift your body all the way back up. Good. Untangle your arms. Reach towards the ceiling. Press into your left foot. Good. Now see if you can lift off and raise your right knee towards the ceiling into a little balance here. Good. See if you can hold yourself nice and steady. Breathe. Good. Then when you're ready, let's put that right foot back down towards the floor. Again, interlace your fingers and press them towards the ceiling. Come high onto your heels if you wish. It's just an option. Find your balance. Good. Then lower your heels. Twist out to the left. T-shape. Left hand to left bum. Give it a squeeze. Good. Reach the right arm up. Come back to center. Do the same twist on the other side. And lift. And then come back to center. Good. Follow your hands down towards the floor into a forward fold. Find a strong bend into your knees. Okay. So instead of trying to lengthen out the backs of your legs, bend the knees as much as you can here so that you can easily bring your hands towards the floor. Good. Let's do the same thing on the other side. So let's take that left leg back towards the back of the mat. You can always move it in a bit. So just get the heel down to begin with. Strengthen your legs and then lift into your warrior one. Good. Then bring your hands down onto your waist for a second. See if you can make your legs a little wider if they're able to do so. Still with that bend into the front knee. Good. Now start to take that right foot just a little bit further over to the right-hand side of your mat, just so it gives a little extra space here for you to fold into. When you're ready, take hold of either elbow behind your back again, or your forearms or your wrists, whatever you're able to do. Shrug your shoulders back, puff your chest, deep breath in, and then press forwards and fold. Good, bending nice and deep into that front knee. Hold it there. Breathe. Good, then when you're ready, lift the body all the way back up. Good, reach the hands up towards the ceiling. Bend deep into your right knee, and then again, see if you can lift off and up into your one leg balance. Good, it really helps here if you can try and lengthen out your back. So as you try and keep that left foot raised, also try and lift from your shoulders and from your rib cage. Holding yourself nice and steady. Good, one more breath. And slowly lower that foot down towards the floor. Good, forward fold. So follow your hands all the way down towards the floor. Bend your knees nice and deeply here. You might have to take them back a little bit. So you can plant your fingers into the mat. Then step both feet back so you come into a plank. Good, now in your plank, just gently rock forwards and backwards. If you want to bring your knees to the floor here, you can do the same thing with your knees down. Good, then wherever you are, take the hips towards the back of the room. So you go back into downward facing dog. Good, let's take a nice long breath in here. And then let it go. When you're ready, press into your right foot a little bit firmer and lift the left leg all the way up behind you. Good, then curl this leg underneath you and step the foot as far up towards the top of the mat as you can. Good, so we've come into a runner's lunge. Now keeping your legs nice and sturdy, see if you can take your hands behind you. And again, either take hold of either elbow or forearm or wrist. Good, now press your hands back as a way to help you lift into your high lunge. Good, breathe. And then again, fold your chest back towards the floor. Unravel your hands, bring them back down towards the floor. Slide your left foot back into a plank. Again, option to bring your knees down here if you're feeling a bit tired. Otherwise, keep them raised and lower yourself through a chaturanga. Curl it back and up into cobra. And breathe. Good, lift the hips and press back into child's pose. Let your breathing become nice and steady. Good, then when you're ready, press your hands down into the floor. Tuck your toes. And take yourself back into downward facing dog. Again, once in downward facing dog, take a deep breath in here. And then let it go. Good, now press into your left foot and nice and slowly lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Good, curl the leg underneath you and step it as far up as you can in between your hands so you come into a runner's lunge. Good, make sure your feet are feeling nice and sturdy here. And then take hold of your hands, wrists, forearms or elbows behind your back. Press your hands back as a way to help lift and curl your body up into a high lunge. Breathe. Nice and slowly, move your chest forwards and back down towards the floor. Hands come down as well. Good. Step your right leg back into a plank. Knees down if you wish. Take it down through a chaturanga. Back into a cobra. And then back into a child's pose. Now bring your hands high onto the fingertips here in your child's pose to take your elbows away from the mat. And breathe. Good. Let's bring our hands flat down again onto the floor. Pull yourself up. Take yourself back into downward facing dog. Good. Now remember at the beginning, we did these steps up towards the top of the mat. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to start on the right leg. So just lift the right foot, bend the knee, point the toes towards the back of the room, then curl that leg underneath you, staying in downward facing dog, and then step that foot down wherever you can. Good. Let's do the same thing with the back leg. So bend the knee, draw the knee up towards your chest, and then step it. At one point, you might have to come high onto your fingertips. That's fine. So again, bend the back knee, curl it underneath you, step the foot up until eventually you get towards the top of your mat. Good. Unroll from your forward fold, coming all the way up to standing. Take your hands, interlace the fingers, reach them towards the ceiling. And again, lift the heels away from the floor if you wish. Breathe. Good, and then lower your heels back down towards the floor and refold into your forward fold. When you're ready, inhale into a half lift, look forwards, and exhale, fold. Again, inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Now we're going to come up into a half lift again, but try and keep your knees bent as much as you can. Okay, so half lift with your knees strongly bent. Good. Now bring your hands into a prayer by your chest. We're going to take a twist to the left-hand side. You may be able to get your right elbow to touch your left knee. You may not. Just try that twist and then come back to center and take the twist on the other side. Good. Come back to center. Good. Reach your hands and your knees nice and straight up into a stretch. I've got my words there. Good. Bring your hands down onto your waists. Good. When you're ready, we're going to lift the left leg up and away from the floor, back into that one leg balance. But this time we're going to then start to tilt our body forwards, swing our leg behind us, and step the foot towards the back of the mat. Don't worry if you don't quite manage to do that. Just get your leg to the back of the mat in whatever fashion you can. Good. Then we are going to turn on the heel of the back foot so that the feet are in a warrior two footing. So with our back foot pointing at a right angle to the front. Good. Let's see if we can take our legs a little wider. Okay, so just shimmy your legs a little wider. Bend nice and deeply into the front knee. Good. And bring your right hand to the inside of your right knee. Now just encourage that knee to try and turn out to the right hand side by pressing the back of your hand into the inside of that knee. Good. Then bring that hand forwards and turn and look over the top of your hand. Soften your gaze. Let the left arm lift behind you and then hold it there. Breathe. Good. Now we're going to bend this right elbow. We're going to tilt our body forwards and see if we can get the right elbow to connect with our right knee. Then take your left arm over top and reach it towards the top corner of the room. Good. Now see if you can bend a little deeper into your right knee so that you straighten out that line you can draw with your left hand down to your left foot. Breathe. Good, and then when you're ready, come back to center. Good, bring your hands to your waist. Turn your right foot so it's now pointing in the same direction as the left. Take your legs a little bit wider. Now see if you can press the weight of your legs down the outside of your legs, down towards the outside of your feet. Good. Lift your arms towards the ceiling, and then we are going to bend our knees and cactus our arms. Lift, bend our knees, cactus our arms. Lift, bend our knees, cactus our arms. Good, now keep your legs where they are, but take your hands behind you again and take hold of again whatever you can. Wrists, forearms, elbows. Take a deep breath in and lift your chest, and then exhale to press your body forwards and fold. Good, then when you're ready, lift yourself all the way back up. Good. And then bring your arms out. Turn your right foot so it's pointing back towards the front of the room. Take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders, and then exhale to pivot your hands down towards the floor. Unplug your back heel. Good, lower your back knee down towards the floor. And then start to see if you can straighten your front leg. Okay, now to do this, try and shift your hips back. If you can take hold of the floor, great. If you're struggling to do that, bring one hand maybe to the top of your right thigh, just for stabilization. Hold it here. Good, and then re-bend into that right knee. Lift the back knee away from the floor, and then see if you can step yourself up towards the top of the mat. Unfurl from your forward fold and reach your hands to the ceiling. Good, let's bring our hands back down onto our waist and do the same thing on the other side. So press into your left foot, lift your right knee towards the ceiling. Nice and slowly tilt forwards and extend your back leg back. Good, send that leg down towards the back of the mat. Good. Now turn onto the heel of your right foot. Shimmy your legs a little wider and bend nice and deeply into your left knee. Again, bring your left hand to the inside of your left knee and try and pull that leg out towards the left-hand side more, so you can see your big toe. Good. Then lift your left hand, turn and look over the top of your left hand. Soften your gaze. Take the right arm back. Good, now breathe. Good, then bend your left elbow and then tilt until you can bring your left elbow on top of your left knee. Reach your right arm over. Okay, so we're finding that diagonal again. And then finally, bend a little deeper into that front knee. Breathe. Good, then when you're ready, bring everything back up into your warrior two. Take a deep breath in, lift your shoulders, and then pivot your hands down again towards the floor. Good, unplug your back heel. Lower your knee down towards the floor, and the same stretch again, where we're pressing our hips back. Drawing our hands back towards this. Again, potentially bringing one hand to the top of your thigh, or both if you need to. as you stay folded over that front leg. You should feel quite an intense stretch running up the back and sides of your left leg here. So breathe. Good. Then when you're ready, bend into that left foot. Lift the back knee away from the floor and step yourself up to the top of your mat. Good. Again, roll the body up. Interlace those fingers, reach them towards the ceiling. Stretch your body nice and long. And then bring your hands back down into a prayer. Good. Let's lift those hands up again. Let's bend the knees and bring our hands down towards the floor. Again, take a few steps back, find buoyancy in your legs, and this time see if you can either run, hop, or fly to the back of the mat. Good. Once you're in your plank, gently shift your hips from side to side. You can still do this with your knees down if you prefer. Good. Keep shifting those hips from side to side, then pause. Hold your position, whether you have your knees down or legs raised. Look forwards. Strengthen every part of your body and breathe. Suck your belly button towards your spine. And then nice and slowly, lower yourself through a chaturanga. Forwards and up into a cobra. Let your shoulders open. Smile. Squeeze your bum cheeks together. Squeeze your heels as if they've got a tennis ball between them. Close your eyes. Good. And then start to bring yourself back to all fours. Tuck your toes. Lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Good. Long breath in. Steady breath out. And then bring your knees to the floor and take a child's pose. And find that steady breathing that you found at the beginning of the class. Good, then press your hands down firmly into the mat. Take yourself back into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg back up towards the ceiling and then again curl it underneath and step it up in between your hands. Let's lower our right knee down. Take your left foot right to the edge of the mat. Good. Now it may help here to bring your right hands onto your fingertips or have them down onto your palms. Or if you have bricks or blocks or cushions, you may want to help your body here by lifting them up underneath your right hand. Okay, that's purely optional. Next, bring your left hand onto the inside of your left knee. Press your left knee away from you and then let your hips sink down as far as they're able to into a hip opener. Hold it there. Breathe. Good. Bring this knee back in. Lift the hips back up and take that foot back in towards the center. Nope, don't do that. Take the left foot
back out towards the side of the mat. So you can bring your left hand onto the inside of that left foot. Good. Now gently rock forwards and backwards, letting your hips dip down and lift. Dip down and lift. Good. Pause there. Now let's bring the left foot now back in towards the center. Lift the right knee away from the mat. And then send that left leg back and up into a three-leg dog. Good. Lower the leg down behind you. Give your bum a wiggle. Let's do the same thing on the other side, okay? So right leg lifts towards the ceiling. Curl the leg underneath. Step it up as far as you can towards the top of the mat. Lower your left knee down. And shimmy that right foot right out to the right edge of the mat. Same thing with the left hand. If you have anything to elevate yourself a little higher with bricks or blocks, go for it. If not, just plant your hand into the floor. Now again, right hand comes onto the inside of your right knee. Press it away from you and let your hips sink down. Really feel like you're opening your hips as much as possible here. Good. When you're ready, lift your hips back up. Bring your right hand onto the inside of your right foot. And again, gently move forwards and backwards. Good. When you're ready, shimmy that right foot back into the center. Lift your back knee away from the floor and then see if you can take it up and back. Three-leg dog. Come high on your left toes before dropping that foot down onto the floor. Rippling forwards into a plank. Knees down if you wish. Take yourself through chaturanga. Roll it back into cobra. Rest those shoulders. Smile. And then press yourself back to a child's pose. Breathe. Good, then nice and slowly roll yourself up so that you are sitting on your heels. And we're just going to do some work on our shoulders. So if sitting on your heels like this is too uncomfortable, by all means, pop yourself into a different seated position. It does not matter. When you're ready, reach your arms up towards the ceiling. Bend your elbows behind your head. Your left elbow behind your head. I say elbows, unhelpful. Good. If you can't get your elbow behind your head, then maybe your forearm or your hand or your wrist. It's whatever your body is able to do. Just so you have something for your head to press into. And your other hand is used to help hold it in place. Now press your head back into that part of your body that it touches with. And breathe. Good, then reach both hands back towards the ceiling and swap them over. Good, keep pressing back into it. Keep breathing.
And then release. Both hands come back down towards the floor. Once again, take hold of whatever you can behind your back. Elbows, forearms, wrists, or hands. Shrug your shoulders back, and then wherever you are in your seated position, fold. Good, then roll yourself all the way back up. Let go of your arms and shift yourself onto your bum. Good, swing your legs around so that you come lengthways onto the mat. Legs straight out, heels pressing down into the mat. We're just going to do a simple forward fold. So when you're ready, interlace your fingers, press the palms up towards the ceiling like you do when you're standing, and reach yourself nice and tall. So you're making an L shape with your body. Good, then from here, press your chest forwards to fold. Let your hands drop wherever they land. So mine drop just behind my ankles. So that's the area of the body that I'm going to take hold of to help keep my chest forwards. If I bring my hands any further forwards to my feet, my shoulders start to come over the top and I'm stretching my upper back more than my legs, which is not what we want. We want a leg stretch here. So keep pressing that chest forwards. Feel that stretch. Find it where it is on your body. And ignore that needs to try and get your hands to touch your toes. Unless, of course, you're easily able to do that. And breathe. And then release. Draw yourself back up. Good. Bend your knees this time and lift them away from the floor. Roll yourself back onto your back and bring your hands to cup the back of your head. We're going to do some slow bicycle movements. Okay, so we're going to straighten our left leg out, bring our right knee in, and then reverse it as we take the opposite elbow towards the knee that's bent. So keep these movements nice and slow. Breathing while you do it. Nice and steady. Good. Last one. And then once you've finished your last one, bring your legs down to the floor and reach your hands behind you to stretch out your spine. Good, and then bring your knees in towards your chest. Rock yourself gently from side to side. And then press your legs forwards and down onto the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And then let it go. And just let everything start to sink down towards the floor. Just allowing all those muscles you were using to relax. Then when you're ready, start to draw your knees back in towards your chest. Keeping your hands on the floor, just gently rock your knees from side to side, going as wide and deep as you wish. one time, take that movement all the way to one side. So you've rolled over onto one side of your body. And then nice and steadily, draw yourself back up to your seated position where you were at the beginning of today's session. Take a long breath in through your nose. And then a steady breath out. And then gently flutter your eyelids open. Thank you for joining today. I hope your body feels suitably moved and stretched. But whatever you have planned for the rest of your day and the bank holiday weekend, I hope you enjoy it. But for all of us who are here today and anyone else watching later, we can bow and say Namaste.